He's Rich Eisen, the host of NFL Network and also the Rich Eisen Show that follows this one on DirecTV, the Audience Channel, Channel 239. Great week of Super Bowl and 49 there in Arizona, and Rich back in the home man cave. Hi, bud.
Hey, Dan, I'm just glad you took my face off the wall before you started bashing footballs over it. So I appreciate that level of respect. Thank you.
Well, we had the Rich Eisen Passion Bucket sign from Occupy Game Day, so that's going to go back up. We just want to leave.
Sure?
Yeah, we want to leave room for Drew. Bledsoe signed the wall there.
Yeah, I saw that. That's a nice. I would wish that you had taken the PSI of the football before he threw it, and then after he bashed it on the wall to see how much he took out of it. I bet that looked like a -2 PSI throw that he whizzed against the wall.
He wanted more air in there.
I heard that.
Yeah, he did. So,
my gosh.
So our poll question is: Super Bowl 49 will be remembered for what?
Oh, it's got to be the interception at the goal line. I mean, what are the odds of that happening? 109 pass attempts were made in the NFL this season from the 1-yard line. Only one was intercepted, and that was the one that came on the goal line with 20 seconds to go in a Super Bowl with the interception made by an undrafted rookie free agent who used to work at a Popeyes. I mean, what are the odds on all of this happening? They are astronomical. Absolutely through the roof, astronomical, and it all happened with the season on the line and the largest television audience tuned in for it. It truly is the ultimate jackpot for New England and the mother of all gut punches in the history of the game. I know there's Jackie Smith, I guess, dropping a Super Bowl touchdown in the end zone, and I can't recall anything like this happening in the NFL.
What about the call?
Well, I mean, I heard how you said at the start, in your show, as I heard you driving, as I heard with me driving in, and I'm going to start my show with it too, is that now's the aftermath of trying to talk about how this sort of fit the moment with the goal line defense there, and it did fit. There's a column in the Seattle Times today about how it did fit sort of what Pete Carroll and the offense did on the goal line this year quite a bit. But I mean, come on, with the season on the line and Marshawn Lynch taking it down to the half-yard line and the other team running out of time and 2 timeouts left, you have to run it again. I mean, you just have to run it again. And certainly knowing that Belichick would have called timeout, or the fact that he didn't call timeout, and I'm going to talk about that with Brian Billick when he joins later, is Belichick's strategy and how that may have played into the way that Carroll was play calling. I mean, it's just really fascinating to come at this from so many different angles. I still think, obviously, they should have run the ball. Call it 20/20 hindsight, but it's 20/20 for a reason. It's crystal clear.
But also, even if I am going to allow the Belichick defense mechanism that he's not going to call the timeout, but Pete Carroll's still going to call in a play, I don't think he said, hey, I don't know, they're going to call a timeout, so don't worry about calling a play. He called in a play and then thought, Belichick's going to call timeout, then we'll regroup here. We want to see what defense they're in as well. They want to see what kind of offensive scheme we've got. I don't know if I can buy that it would have changed Pete Carroll doing something there. Do you?
I don't know. I mean, look, to me, the play call, even as a pass, I didn't like it. I'd go fade route to Chris Matthews, who's been catching everything and high point and everything, and he's 6'5". But Brandon Browner shut him down. I mean, after the first half, and that's why Butler was in the game, because Browner supposedly went to the, Matt Patricia and Belichick and said, let me get on him. I mean, I'm big enough to cover this kid, and Butler thereby got into the cornerback rotation and saw a play that, as we all know, he practiced in the scout team with Jimmy Garoppolo playing Russell Wilson, and he jumped the route. I mean, the guy made the play of his life. The play of his life. In a way, I mean, this was New England's Tyree moment for them, where a guy who's never done anything in his life made a spectacular play. It wasn't a circus catch or a play, but it was the play of his life and the moment of his life. And I'm glad to hear that Brady's given him the truck.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that. Now, speaking of which, Dan, I'm there in the stands as you're doing your thing on the podium.
Mm-hmm.
I'm there with my family, my children. They're all New Englanders celebrating the moment. But I'm locked in on you and your performance because I care about you, and I'm thinking about you. There's one criticism I have, if I may throw it out there. When you throw to the truck, the Chevy truck, you had the mother of all opportunities to drop in technology.
I would have. I was worried that the sponsor might not be, because I have Ram as my sponsor. I didn't want to diminish Chevy.
I understand. There are larger issues here. See, I didn't know the full story. I didn't know the full. But I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, come on, Dan, go technology and stuff. Go Rick Wilkie, come on, you can do it. It's in you. And then you didn't. No. And I was a little bit disappointed, but I understand, there are larger forces at work here.
Yeah, I just didn't want Chevy to be upset and say, well, he's a Ram guy. Plus, in that moment, great moment, Brady, and giving the truck away.
Yeah, it's
a
not
great
about
moment
you and being mirthful. I understand.
No, exactly.
I understand.
Yeah, but,
I was thinking that. I'm like, come on, here we go. Here's the truck presentation. Rick Wilkie, come on, technology and stuff. But no, I understand.
Paulie said the same thing to me. He goes, "Hey, you're gonna do technology." Here, I just watched this interception, and it's chaos on the field. And Paulie goes, "You're gonna do, the whole integration stuff?" And I go, "No. I'm just trying to sort through this as these guys come up on the podium." And I don't know how was the commissioner received. Was there a lot of boos? Because I couldn't hear it.
Yeah, but I mean, he's come to expect that.
Okay.
There were lots of boos. And that's the dichotomy. Obviously, is that 140 million people watched this game after a season filled with storylines where the question was how many fans might be turned off to the game by the game, and clearly that didn't happen. But it was an incredible game, Dan. I think it's the best Super Bowl I've seen, and I've done 12 of them now for NFL Network, and now one with DirecTV. And, man, I mean, it was haymakers being thrown by two top seeds playing a highly efficient football. I thought it was well officiated also. We didn't have any of those moments that we had marring, for the lack of a better phrase, some playoff games this year. I thought it was just awesome. It was really a great spectacle to behold, all of it. And it was clearly rewarded by the largest audience ever.
But let's retrace the tragic deaths of these NFC teams during the playoffs, whether it was the Lions, then the Cowboys, then the Packers, and the Seahawks.
Yep.
Those
one after the other. I know that those are all gut punches.
Yes.
That a lot of these teams are going to have to be dealing with. And, Seattle, Pete Carroll, Darrell Bevell, Russell Wilson, all of them will spend the rest of their lives wondering, what to do. And I'm going to talk about that with Warren Moon about Russell Wilson's role in this, and a lot of people thinking that he's getting a pass. Should he have audibled out of it? I mean, there's so much 20/20 hindsight going on here about this play call. And Warren, does the analysis for Seattle radio, knows Russell Wilson intimately, knows the position. I can't wait to sort of hit him up on that. And it's something, again, that'll be talked about weeks, months, years, decades from now, this moment. It really was. And as I mentioned yesterday, the 2001 World Series Game 7 was the only situation I've been at, witnessed myself, where momentum switched in a win or go home, do or die, all or nothing championship game setting, where the fans of one team were ecstatic and then the other team had the momentum at the last minute. I was in the stands as Mariano Rivera wiped the Diamondbacks 1-2-3 off the field in the bottom of the eighth, and fans were crying, wives were crying. Matt Williams' wife from Blame It on Rio was crying. They were all crying in the stands, and then obviously Luis Gonzalez happened, but that happened over a span of at-bats, minutes. This was a mere second, a flip of the switch. I've never seen anything like it.
Rich's show coming up, top of the hour on DirecTV, Audience Channel 239. Warren Moon will join him. Who else is going to be stopping by?
Also, Coach Billick, Jake Glazer, Matt Hasselbeck on the show. Also, Johnny Silverman, the actor whose father married Susie and I, and his wife, Jennifer Finnegan, coming in. They're Saints fans. They got a movie to pitch, so they're coming in studio. And the phone calls. I mean, I'm sure your phones are as lit up as mine. It's nuts. People are loving it. And just so you know this too, Dan, if you ever need me in an Anchorman rumble in an alley against Colin Cowherd, Dan, if you ever need me there, I'm there for you, man. I'll be there. I'll be there with the blowtorch or whatever you need.
Well,
I'm there.
I just need another hard worker in there. So
listen. You are one of the hardest working guys I've ever known, and just because you've got 4 great Danettes there who make it look easy, with you, that is truly one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard uttered, and you are the best for a reason, Dan.
Thank you, Rich.
You got it. I'm there for you in an alley. I'm there for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. He's Rich Eisen, NFL Network, Rich Eisen Show.